Series budget hangout, CNBC TV 18's Poornima Murli caught up with Mindtree CEO Krishnakumar Natarajan on his budget expectations.
I think we have to look at it in a perspective that today the Indian IT industry is really the leader in the globe. Now, how do you really build a future for the industry? How do you enhance the current competitiveness? And also, how do you remove some irritants today? I would really look at these three as what I expect out of the budget. Now, if you look at building the future, I think it is clear that India has 56% market share of the global outsourcing business, so it is a leader. But increasingly, India is becoming not just the outsourcing capital, it's really becoming the innovation hub for the world. So to support that position, we need to encourage more R&D activities. I would anticipate that the budget to provide credits as well as incentives for Indian IT companies to do R&D so that you can sustain your leadership position. Also, becoming an innovation hub will need activities of branding, really marketing India as an innovation hub, which again there is investments to be made. So if the budget can provide funds for that, it will certainly be a great help for the industry to transition from being the outsourcing leader to being the innovation leader. The second element is sustaining competitiveness. The Prime Minister has rightly talked about making business easy, doing business easy. If you look at the IT industry, I think there are great schemes like STPI, SEZ, but there are a lot of operational issues associated with SEZ. Simple things like in the recent floods in Chennai, even if you have to move work from an STPI to an SEZ, you cannot do it. Or if you want to start something new in an STPA, SEZ, there are a lot of regulations, operating rules which are difficult to implement. So how do you make that whole operating environment easier? There are other things which are pending, like the transfer pricing, which hasn't been resolved well. Really ensuring that our definition of royalty is in line with the international standards. Or if you look at that for prepackaged software, both service tax and VAT are applicable. So these are things which will ensure that some of the competitiveness of the industry is enhanced. I think beyond that, if you look at irritants, I would think clearly the budget should set apart a clear direction on how will you create a better global trade environment. Because in the recent past, many of the developing economies have adopted what one would call protectionist measures, which increases the cost of doing business. But that, I think the government has to ensure that there's adequate conversation, there's adequate lobbying with the respective economies to ensure that we have a more level playing field. So I would think as long as building and enhancing the market, there are efforts to make India an innovation hub, reducing some of the operational irritants in how business is executed, as well as reducing some of the ecosystem issues, that would really make the industry far more competitive.
Actor singer Shraddha Kapoor wears